Be honest with yourself. How long has it been since you truly gave your mind a real rest? Not just a trip, nor a hurried vacation, but genuine rest. The kind where you release all the noise from the outside world and simply listen to yourself. Day after day, you keep living, working, chasing after endless plans. But have you ever noticed that even when your body lies still, your mind never truly rests? It keeps wandering through unfinished tasks, words left unsaid, images that make you compare and then blame yourself. You close your eyes to sleep, yet your mind still blazes like a city that never turns off its lights. And the next morning, the moment your eyes open, you are thrown right back into the old cycle, as if peace had never once belonged to you. If you cannot find a place of rest within yourself, where else could you ever truly dwell in peace? Here lies a difficult truth. We are not exhausted because of heavy work, but because we have turned the mind into a battlefield. Rash reactions, unnecessary worries, invisible comparisons, all these slowly gnaw away at your tranquility, stripping you of your refuge. Marcus Aurelius once reminded, "A man does not need to retreat to some remote place to find peace, but only to learn how to remain silent within his own soul." The Stoics, amid wars, losses, betrayals, still found a solid ground within themselves, a sanctuary that no one could ever violate. And now, you too can begin again in the same way. Allow yourself to pause. Let every burden fall away, if only for a moment. Relax your body. Gently close your eyes. Breathe deeply in, then slowly out. Treat this very moment as a gift, as a word of comfort you offer to yourself. For only when you dare to sit down in silence can you truly begin the journey of renewal, the journey of reclaiming your strength and rebuilding the foundation of peace for your life. Number 1. Facing the truth, the storm within the mind. Have you ever sat in a completely quiet room, only to find that your mind could not be still? No sounds, no one disturbing you, yet inside, your head buzzes like a crowded marketplace. Dozens of thoughts jostle against one another, each pulling you in a different direction. Unfinished tasks from yesterday, worries for tomorrow, conversations left hanging, memories that refuse to close. Though the world around you is silent, within you rages a storm without end. This is the truth we often avoid. The body may stop, but the mind rarely rests. It endlessly builds scenarios, most of which will never happen. A passing criticism can become a deep wound in the imagination. A careless glance turns into evidence of rejection. A trivial failure is spun into an entire tragedy. And so, instead of resting, you live trapped in the spiral of things that never were and never will be. Think back to a time you couldn't sleep, not because of coffee, not because of noise, but because your thoughts kept circling in endless repetition. You turned left, turned right, yet the harder you tried to sleep, the more violently your mind spun. In the dark, small matters suddenly grew tenfold. An offhand remark from a colleague, an unintentional glance, or an email left unanswered. You knew they weren't worth such attention, yet you couldn't escape. That's when you realize the one exhausting you is not the world outside, but your own mind that never knows how to stop. Marcus Aurelius once reminded himself, You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Yet we often do the opposite. Instead of keeping power over the mind, we hand it away to other people, to circumstances, to things beyond our control. A single reproach, a fleeting comparison, an ambiguous look, all become invisible chains that bind our inner life. Picture your mind as a room. Over the years, you have unconsciously cluttered it with too many things. The expectations of others, unspoken fears, memories you refuse to release. They lie scattered, covered in dust, turning what could have been a bright, open space into one cramped and suffocating. Each time you try to enter for a moment of peace, you feel overwhelmed, weighed down, and retreat. Yet this room is the very place you must live in every single day. There is no leaving it. The more you avoid it, the more you are swept away by the inner storm. We turn to busyness as a disguise, rushing into work, into social media, into shallow conversations. But have you noticed? The more we try to run, the more weary we become. It is like trying to extinguish a fire with gasoline. The more you pour in, the stronger the flames. The mind is the same. It cannot become still if merely covered by new noise. It needs to be confronted, cleared out, and returned to its natural order. Now, allow yourself to try something small. Gently close your eyes, loosen your shoulders, and imagine your mind as that room. You step inside, not rushing to tidy up, but simply standing still to observe. In one corner sits a box labeled "Worries for Tomorrow." In another, a cupboard crammed with memories you cling to. On the desk, scraps of paper filled with comparisons and rivalries, yet to be torn apart. All of it lies there, crowding the room until little light can enter. You don't need to fix anything right away. All you need to do is acknowledge the mind is overloaded. The first step to rebuilding is not urgent change, but the courage to enter and face it. Only when you dare to look directly at the storm will you know where to begin. Slowly, to clear it out. Epictetus once said, "It is not events that disturb us, but our judgments about them." Each scrap in that mental room is not dangerous by itself. It is the way we hold on to them, stack them, and let them become burdens. And you, not anyone else, are the one who can choose to let them go piece by piece so that the room may once again open up, so that light may return. Let this image sink deeply into you. The mind is a room you cannot leave. You can allow it to remain in disarray, or you can begin the journey of renewal gently, little by little. And that journey, no one else can walk for you. Number 2. The Stoic lesson, stillness as the mirror. Do you remember the last time you stood before a mirror for a long while? Not to fix your hair or adjust your clothes, but to look deeply into your own eyes. Usually, we rarely do this. We are too busy to stop, too busy to allow our own gaze to reflect inward. Yet, in Stoic philosophy, stillness itself is the mirror through which we see ourselves most clearly. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "A man does not need to retreat to some remote place to find peace, but only to learn how to remain silent within his own soul." Stillness is not an escape from the world. It is the bravest act of all. Facing oneself. Imagine you are sitting alone in a familiar room. The noise outside has faded, leaving only stillness. At this moment, thoughts begin to appear more clearly, like ripples across a lake. Worries, anger, and regrets you usually hide now emerge as drifting leaves upon the water. And you, rather than plunging into the water, simply sit at the shore, quietly observing. Epictetus once said, "It is not events that disturb us, but our judgments about them." In stillness, you begin to see this truth. A criticism, a small failure, a rejection, none of these alone have the power to ruin you. It is the way you interpret them that turns them into burdens. Stillness teaches you to separate yourself from rash reactions, to recognize what is real and what is only imagination magnified by the mind. Carl Jung said, "Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakens." And only in stillness do we truly have the chance to awaken. When you dare to sit with yourself, you realize that many of your thoughts are not truly yours at all. They are echoes of others, of societal expectations, of the fear of being left behind. Stillness is like a comb, untangling the knots strand by strand, leaving you with the essence, the authentic voice of your inner self. Try a small exercise. Right now, if you can, sit upright. Take a deep breath in and exhale slowly. Imagine a mirror before you. In that mirror, not only is your face reflected, but also the emotions rising within. Perhaps you see fatigue, doubt, maybe even a touch of fear. Don't rush to dismiss them. Simply look, accept them as part of you. Just as the lake accepts the falling leaves, it always returns to its natural calm. Seneca advised his students to end each evening with these questions. What good did I do today? What did I do poorly? What must I improve? This was not self-condemnation, but a cleansing ritual, like tidying a room before sleep. The Stoics treated stillness as a daily rite, not for avoidance, but for renewal. And here is the paradox. When you dare to sit in stillness, the initial fear gradually gives way to peace. It is like stepping into a dark room, at first uneasy, but after a while, your eyes adjust and you begin to see clearly. So too with stillness. Once familiar, it ceases to frighten you and instead becomes a companion, the truest mirror. In that mirror, you see that your constant worries are not the whole of you. You are not the failures you have endured. You are not the judgments others cast upon you. You are not the vague fears of the future. You are greater than all of these. And only in stillness do you truly see this. Let me remind you of something important. Without stillness, every attempt at rebuilding is only a temporary patch. You may change jobs, move homes, meet new people, but if your mind remains a battlefield, you will carry the storm wherever you go. Stillness is the first step in laying a new foundation. Now, relax a little more. Inhale and exhale slowly. Treat each breath as a broom, sweeping away the dust within the room of your mind. Every time you allow yourself to sit quietly, observing without judgment, you lay another brick in the rebuilding of your inner home. And as that home gradually fills with light, you will recognize this truth. Peace has never been out there. It has always been within you, waiting to be awakened by stillness. Number 3. The modern mistake. Thieves of stillness. Have you noticed that in today's world, stillness has become more luxurious than gold or silver. We can easily find a new cafe, a smart device, an endless stream of entertainment. Yet it is hard to find even a single moment of genuine peace for ourselves. The irony is this: never have humans had so many comforts, and yet never has the mind been so restless. The first thief that robs us of stillness is digital noise. We often say that we control our phones, but in reality, they control us. Every ring, every notification lights up like a hook, pulling our attention away from within. Imagine this. Just as you settle down to sit quietly, your phone vibrates, and instantly your mind jumps up, like a puppet tugged by strings. Moment by moment, your focus and peace are broken into fragments. No storm outside is needed. Those tiny vibrations alone are enough to stir up a storm within your mind. Then comes social comparison, a silent but equally dangerous thief. Online, you see other people's lives, radiant smiles, faraway trips, dazzling success, and unconsciously you start measuring yourself against them. You ask, why do they have what I don't? Why is my life so dull? Instead of savoring the moment you are living, you drown yourself in feelings of lack. The sad part is, you forget that what you see is only a polished fragment they chose to display, never the whole truth. Marcus Aurelius once advised, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." His reminder echoes to this day. Do not waste your life in meaningless comparisons. Instead of staring too long at another's light, kindle your own flame. The third thief, subtler than the rest, is the illusion of perfection. We often tell ourselves, when I have more time, I'll sit in stillness. When my work is finished, I'll be calm. When everything is in order, I'll begin. But the truth is, there will never be such a when. Life will always bring new waves, unfinished business, and reasons to postpone. And while waiting for perfect conditions, we waste countless chances to reclaim peace in the present. Ask yourself, if I cannot find stillness right now, when will I ever? The answer, more often than not, is never, unless you decide to begin in this very moment. Do you see how these thieves work? They are not loud. They do not rob your peace with a crash, but with small, repeated cuts, until you no longer have the strength to resist. Every time you reach for your phone without thought, every time you envy another's success, every time you wait for perfect conditions before daring to live, you let another fragment of stillness be stolen away. And yet, it is in recognizing them that you begin to reclaim mastery. When you know that buzz is not urgent, you can choose silence. When you see that photo as just a slice of life, you can stop comparing. When you realize life will never be flawless, you can allow yourself to start here and now. Try a small practice. Next time your phone vibrates, instead of grabbing it immediately, take a deep breath in and exhale slowly. Ask yourself, does this notification truly matter right now? With just that one breath, you have already saved a fragment of stillness for yourself. Or next time you see someone else succeed, shift your perspective. Their life has its beauty, and I am on my own journey. Instead of letting comparison steal your peace, let it remind you to live more fully in your own way. And when you catch yourself waiting for a perfect tomorrow, Ask, why not today? Why not begin now? You will see that stillness has never left you. It has always been here, waiting for you to return. Stillness is never lost. It is only stolen away, piece by piece, by invisible thieves. And, as soon as you begin reclaiming each fragment, slowly, patiently, you will restore an entire sky of peace within your mind. Number 4. The journey of renewal, rebuilding the foundations of peace. After facing the storm within your mind and recognizing the silent thieves that steal your peace, it is now time to step into a new path. The journey of renewal. Renewal is not about constructing a grand palace overnight, but about quietly building piece by piece, laying one brick at a time, until one day you find yourself with a strong and steady home within your own soul. Imagine that, after many years, your house has decayed. The walls are stained, the roof leaks, and the foundation cracks. You cannot simply paint over the surface and expect it to stand firm in a storm. You must begin with the foundation. And your mind is no different. If peace does not exist within, then all external success is nothing but a castle of sand, waiting for a wave to wash it away. Stillness is the flat ground upon which to begin. In stillness, you can see clearly what must be kept and what must be released. A fragment of anger, an old resentment, an expectation that was never truly yours, these are like rotting bricks. Holding on to them only weakens the new home. Letting them go is not a loss, but a clearing of space for stronger stones. Marcus Aurelius once reminded, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." When we become conscious of life's fragility, we stop wasting energy on petty worries or meaningless quarrels. Instead, we preserve what truly matters to build the foundation of the soul. The first brick of renewal is the breath. Try it now. Inhale deeply, hold for a moment, and exhale slowly. Imagine that with each exhale, you wipe away a layer of dust from the old walls. With just your breath, you begin cleaning, creating space to rebuild. Epictetus once said, "First say to yourself what you would be, then do what you have to do. And what you have to do first is return to your own breath." Beyond breath, imagine standing in the middle of your mind's room. There are drawers stuffed with worries, corners piled with painful memories, scraps of paper scribbled with comparisons and regrets. You don't need to clear it all at once. Choose just one thing, one worry, one memory, one comparison, and gently put it down. In that instant, you will see a new space open, a new beam of light streaming in. Carl Jung once said, "Silence is not the absence of noise but the presence of oneself." As you lay aside burdens, you will see yourself more clearly, more lucid, more free. Once the foundation is cleared, you must raise new walls with new habits. Each morning, before you touch your phone, write down 3 things you are grateful for. During the day, when emotions rise, pause and ask, "Is this within my control?" In the evening, note 1 thing you did well, 1 lesson you learned, and 1 thing you will release. These acts may seem small, but each repetition is another brick laid firmly in place. A house is never complete without a roof. In the inner journey, perseverance is the roof. You may begin well, but without consistency, the mind soon falls back into old chaos. Perseverance does not mean doing a lot, but doing regularly. Even 3 minutes of stillness a day, repeated faithfully, is more powerful than an hour of focus that cannot be sustained. Seneca once said, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that they are difficult." The hardest thing is consistency with yourself, but it is also the very thing that takes you the farthest. As each brick is set down, each wall raised, each small habit nurtured, you will see that your inner home has transformed. No longer suffocating and dusty, it becomes bright and spacious, a place you can return to at any moment to find peace. And the wonder is this: once the foundation of peace is firm, the storms outside no longer shake you. Others may say what they will. Life may bring upheaval. Yet within you, the house stands strong. Remember, the journey of renewal is not a noisy revolution, but a quiet patience. Each breath, each moment of stillness, each small habit is a brick you place. Over time, you will look back and realize you have truly built a new home, a home of peace, which no one can ever steal from you. Number 5. Daily practice. Renewal in every moment. Rebuilding oneself is not a grand ritual, nor is it a complicated plan. It begins with the smallest of moments, the repeated actions woven into daily life. Just as a strong house cannot be built in a single day, but only through steady labor morning after morning, evening after evening, the journey of renewal is the same. It does not demand that you change the entire world, only that you patiently sow small seeds into each moment of your own life. In the morning, as soon as you wake, instead of rushing for your phone and the noise of the outside world, give yourself 3 minutes to sit in stillness. Close your eyes, inhale deeply, then exhale slowly. In those 3 minutes, you may write down 3 things you are grateful for. A night of restful sleep, the light of dawn spilling through the window, or simply your own presence in this moment. Those 3 minutes do not change the world, but they change your posture toward the day ahead. It is like laying the first solid brick for the house you will build that day. Throughout the day, emotions will surely arise. A word that irritates you, an incident that stirs anxiety, or a comparison that brings unease. Usually, you would react at once, let emotions steer you, and regret it afterward. But today, try differently. When emotion surges, pause, breathe deeply, and ask, "Is this within my control?" If yes, respond calmly to change it. If not, exhale and let it go. That question is like an anchor dropped when your boat begins to drift too far. It steadies you, keeping you from being swept away by the waves of emotion. When night falls, before surrendering to sleep, sit in stillness once more. Recall the day that has passed, and write down 3 things. 1 thing you did well, 1 thing you learned, and 1 thing you choose to release. In doing this, you close the day like one tidying a room before bed. You do not carry dust into your sleep, and so awaken the next morning with a clearer, lighter mind. You may think these acts are small, but it is in the small that power resides. A flower does not bloom the day after it is sown, but with each drop of water and each ray of sun, day after day, it grows. Renewal of the self is the same. You do not need to wait for great turning points, only to stay faithful to the small moments. And over time, those moments weave into a new life. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "Live as if you were to depart life this very moment." Let that determine what you do, say, and think. When you remember the fragility of life, you value each moment more. You see, there is no reason to delay peace, for even now, in this very moment, you can begin. So when tomorrow comes, you do not need a vast plan, you only need one small habit. A deep breath in the morning, a short pause before anger, a page of reflection before sleep. They are like brooms sweeping away dust again and again, until the room of your mind becomes brighter with each passing day. And in that room, you will find yourself lighter, steadier, and more at peace than ever before. The journey of rebuilding oneself is not a noisy revolution, nor is it a dazzling victory for others to see. It is like a stream flowing quietly beneath the earth, steady, patient, nourishing the forest above. You need not prove anything to anyone. You need only persist in cultivating moments of stillness for yourself. Stillness does not mean the outside world becomes silent. Life will go on with storms, upheavals, and things beyond your control. But the difference lies here. You now have a place to return to. You have rebuilt for yourself an inner home with peace as its foundation, steadfast habits as its walls, and courage as its roof to live fully. And that home no storm can take away. You may think what you are doing is too small. A deep breath in the morning, a pause before anger, a page of journaling before bed. Can these truly change a life? But remember, the ocean is made of countless drops, and a mighty tree begins as a tiny seed. Change is not about grandeur, but consistency. And if you remain consistent with these small acts each day, you will find yourself transformed more than you imagine. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "A man does not need to retreat to some remote place to find peace, but only to learn how to remain silent within his own soul." This is the reminder that you do not need to flee the world, nor seek some distant land. The peace you have long been searching for has always been within you, waiting for you to sit down and listen. Allow me, right now, to give you one final reminder. Inhale deeply, then exhale slowly. Feel your shoulders begin to release, your mind grow lighter. Let this very moment be proof that you can begin again without waiting for tomorrow, without perfect conditions. Peace is not a distant destination. It is the path you choose in every moment. And when you open your eyes after this journey, remember that you carry with you a key, the key of stillness. Whenever life shakes you, remember that you can always return. Sit down, breathe, and open that door. Behind it lies the home you have patiently rebuilt, the place of strength, of peace, and of a better version of yourself. Hold that key firmly in your hand, for as long as you remember the way back, you will never be lost.